Hello, and welcome to this educational platform of Ghatana Chakra Book video. Our aim is to deliver knowledge to you in a simple, clear, and accessible manner. Let us begin this journey of learning and success.
What if we could actually design the perfect crop? I'm talking about one that gives us more food and faster, all while being tough enough to handle a changing climate. Well, today we're going to unpack a huge scientific breakthrough that's doing exactly that. And honestly, it could change everything about the food we eat. Because really, it all comes down to this one massive question. We've got more people on the planet every day, and that planet is under a lot of stress. Figuring out how to secure our food supply, that's probably one of the biggest challenges of our time. And it all starts on the farm.
So what are farmers really dealing with out there? Well, you could say modern farming is caught in a perfect storm. We're asking them to grow more food on a planet that's getting harder and harder to farm, and the old ways just aren't cutting it anymore. Let's break it down. First, there's water, or, the lack of it. Droughts are getting more common, more intense, leaving crops thirsty. Then you've got the soil itself. In a lot of places, it's getting saltier, which basically poisons the land and stunts plant growth. And on top of all that, global demand for food just keeps going up and up. It's a massive squeeze, and we need a breakthrough.
And then, just like that, a potential answer appeared. On May 4th, 2025, the world of agriculture got some really big news. What might just be a genuine turning point, announced by India's Union Minister of Agriculture.
So, meet the heroes of our story, two brand new genome-edited types of rice. In one corner, you have Kamala, which is all about getting higher yields, and in the other, Pusa DST Rice 1, which is built for climate resilience. Let's dig into Kamala first. All right, first up, Kamala. Its job is simple, but it's so important. It's designed to tackle that productivity problem we talked about. This rice is all about one thing, growing more food way more efficiently.
So this variety comes out of the Indian Institute of Rice Research. What they did was they took a really popular rice called Samba Masuri and used this super precise gene editing tool to go in and tweak one specific gene, the CKX2 gene. Why that one? Because it's directly connected to how much grain the plant actually makes.
Okay, but this is where it gets really wild. The speed. Kamala is ready to harvest a full 20 days earlier than its parent. Now, for a farmer, 20 days is an absolute game changer. That's less risk of bad weather hitting the crop, and it might even open up a window to plant something else.
And here's the payoff, plain and simple. The yield just jumps from 4.5 tons per hectare with the original rice to over 5.3 tons with Kamala. That's a 19% increase. In agriculture, a jump that big isn't just an improvement, it's a whole new ballgame. So Kamala gives us more food. Awesome. But what about growing it when the conditions are, well, terrible? That's where our second hero, Pusa, comes in. This one isn't just about getting more, it's about pure toughness.
Pusa was developed over at the Indian Agricultural Research Institute. They started with a different parent plant, and this time the scientists targeted a gene called, and you gotta love this, the DST gene. It literally stands for drought and salt tolerance.
It's a great name for sure, but the real question is, does it actually work? How does it hold up in the field when things get really tough, under the real-world stress of too little water and too much salt in the soil? And the results are just wow. In salty inland soil, it yields almost 10% more. In really alkaline soils, that number jumps to nearly 15%. But look at this last one. In coastal areas with tons of salt, Pusa yields over 30% more. It's not just surviving in these awful conditions, it's actually thriving.
A 19% increase, a 30% increase. These numbers are just incredible. So how is this even possible? To get that, we need to dive into the amazing science that's making it all happen, gene editing.
So, the easiest way to wrap your head around genome editing is to think of it like the find and replace feature in a document, but for DNA. Scientists can find one specific little sequence in a plant's own genetic code and make a super precise change, like turning a gene off or making it work a little better, all without adding anything new or foreign.
And that right there brings us to the single most important, most crucial detail about this technology. It's what really sets it apart from all the older ways of doing genetic modification.
And here it is. The final rice plant has 0 foreign DNA. Because the technology only edits the genes that are already there, the final result is basically the same as something that could happen in nature or through decades of traditional breeding. It's just done with incredible speed and accuracy. Okay, so let's zoom back out. We've seen the amazing results, we've seen the brilliant science, but what does a revolution packed inside a tiny seed really mean for the folks who grow our food and, well, for all of us?
But when you put the benefits of Kamala and Pusat together, you get this really powerful package. You've got higher yields, which means more food. You have tolerance for drought and salt, which means it's climate-proof. And you have faster harvests, which means less risk. It's just a complete upgrade.
So why is this such a big deal? Well, for a farmer, this isn't just about numbers on a chart. This is about stability. It means they can count on a better income, and they have to worry a whole lot less about a sudden drought or bad soil wiping out their entire year's work.
And when you multiply that effect by millions of farmers, you're not just helping one farm anymore. You're fundamentally making the entire global food system stronger. This is a seriously powerful new tool in our toolbox.
Which, of course, brings us right back to that huge question we started with. With incredible innovations like Kamala and Pusa rice, it feels like we finally have a new and really powerful answer. It really makes you wonder, right? Are we standing on the edge of a brand new agricultural revolution, one where we can precisely and safely rewrite the very code of life to feed our future?